All right, Lays. Well, thank you so much for being here. We're so excited to have you here at Dunebrook's live stream via Zoom meeting because we're being super cautious these days, which is so important. So I'm so happy to have Jackie, Rouge Perkins, and Lorelai Weaver with us for the live stream today. So, ladies, maybe if you would just talk a little bit about yourselves, and then we'll talk about Duneland tourism and Porter Bank and all the good things you do in addition to your relationship with Dunebrook. So maybe Lorelai, if you want to start with you, just tell us a little bit about yourself and
Sure. So I am Lorelei Weimer, and I am currently the president of the Duneland Exchange Club, which is a service club that represents Chesterton, Porter, and Burns Harbor. I've been a member since 1993, although Jackie is one of our founding members, which is really cool. I think she would have been. We were both in our early 20s, I think, when we joined. And I've been my real career is I am the executive director of Indiana Dunes Tourism, and I've been there since 1991. So I think next year I'll be going on 30 years.
wow. Oh my gosh, Lorelai, isn't that wonderful?
Yep. And so then, and now we'll let Jackie. Jackie has also served as our president. So Jackie has, I think, served in every capacity known in our club.
Yes, I have. I think I am the current treasurer. I have charter member, so I started in 1991. I pushed off being president for a lot of years, but then I did serve as president a few years ago. Treasurer by default, I think, because of my position at Porter Bank. I am the president there. I've been serving there as president for 2 years. I've been there for 30 some years. I'm born and raised in Chesterton, Duneland community. I am married and have 2 children who are in college age. So now I devote my time to work and the Exchange Club.
Oh, that is so great, both of you, honestly, Lorelai and Jackie. And that the the long period of time that you've both been involved, you know that makes such a difference because of the consistency of knowing the history of things and where you see where the problems are and where the growth availability is. And that makes a big difference. So, and tell us a little bit about the Tourism Bureau, Lorelai. Can you tell us what about it? And if people are interested, how do they connect and so forth?
Absolutely. So our boundaries are official. We're the official marketing and destination development organization for Porter County. So our boundaries are the entire geographical boundaries of Porter County from the north, which is by the Indiana Dunes, all the way to the southern tip, which is Couts and Hebron along the Kankakee River. And what our job is, we are considered specialized economic development. And so what our job is to promote the destination, get visitors excited to come to the Indiana Dunes, go into our community, spend money, go to our hotels, eat at our restaurants. And certainly with COVID, our industry's probably been hit the hardest worldwide in terms of just travel in general. We have a lot of international visitors. International travel is almost like ceased completely. We are fortunate because we are the 61st national park in the country, and there's 494 national park units. We're only one of 62 that have the distinction of a national park. And that was critical this year in terms of helping us at least survive COVID because visitors were still coming to our destination. So that was really important for our industry.
Well, that is not only important for your industry, but how about for people, Lorelai, who just need to get out? So if they want to find out about the parks, they really can just go to your website.
Yeah, so our website is indianadunes.com. And it's a great partnership with us and the national park and the state park. So we have a national and a state park, which most destinations don't have. And because the national and state park cannot do marketing, we are the official marketing arm for those two parks. So if you're really wanting to get a deep dive into the Indiana Dunes, you'd go to our website. And then, of course, we want them to shake off the sand south of the dunes and get them into our community. So we have all of the hotel information, the restaurants, other attractions. So you're right. The best place to get that information is indianadunes.com.
Okay, indianadunes.com. And they're really, even in this fall cooler weather, there's certainly a lot to do. And even restaurants, right? In hotels. I mean, to do it safely, even though things seem grim sometimes, but there still is the ability to get out and about safely, right?
Absolutely. And one of the things that, again, bodes well for our destination is they have considered it safer to be outdoors. And so what our biggest strength is outdoor recreation. And so the kayaking, the hiking, and right now, this time of year, it's a great time to do the hiking trails at the dunes. So you're right. This is a perfect time to come. And, our industry knows that we have to be safe. So when you're going into our restaurants and our hotels, certainly they're doing a lot more touchless things that so that that visitor really does feel safe when they come to visit us.
Well, that's wonderful, Lorelai. Thank you. I mean, I think that's, talk about a bright spot in our crazy days. I do think for everyone's mental health, it's important to get out, but to do it safely. And it sounds like your group is very cognizant of what they need to do in keeping people safe.
Absolutely.
Great, great. And then, Jackie, do you want to tell us about Porter Bank and the history and what kind of services, general, big picture?
I'd love to. um, we are actually celebrating our 100th year this year.
Oh my
Porter
gosh, how
Bank.
exciting.
Yeah, we just were highlighted in the Chester Tribune with a great article by Kevin Nevers, and it was really a different year planned for us, with a lot of celebrations that unfortunately, we couldn't host. But the point being is we are still here and strong and healthy, and we are full service. I think that's what distinguishes us. People don't maybe recognize that you don't have to be a big bank, to get all of the bank services. And so that's what we pride ourselves on in our customer service experience, that we're a relationship bank, not a, transactional. We did have to close our lobbies again in light of the COVID positivity rates, but we're still full service at the drive-ups, and we have curbside banking. And then, of course, all the digital channels with online and mobile and scheduling appointments. That's still an option too for customers. So, mortgage lending is really popular right now because rates are so low. And like I said, and then use of all of our digital channels. So we are here, and we're going to be here for another 100 years probably. I've been with the bank 35 years, and I've been serving president. This is my second year. And so I feel like I'm just kind of kicking it off. And so we'll just hopeful for 101st party celebration next year.
There you go. Right.
Yeah.
Well, Jackie, I just want to say again, like Lorelai in the dunes and, restaurants being open and working so hard, just thank you. I remember in March when this hit, and Porter Bank did such a fabulous job of being open and working through the kinks of servicing your customers. And we are so appreciative of that. I mean that, because when it hit in March, really, we were so afraid. Everyone was scared. Do you go out of your house? And here we are in phase 2, so to speak. And we just are very appreciative of all that you have done so creatively to be there for your customers. And it's not easy. And I'm sure it's scary for your employees.
Challenging, yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing how people come together, and especially in, a small town, small community, it really makes a big difference. So thank you. And maybe, Jackie, you could talk a little bit, when we met some years ago, about body safety, a little bit about Dunebrook's body safety and your relationship with that, and maybe what you've done to support that. Maybe you can tell our audience a little bit.
I'd be happy to. I was actually introduced to the body safety program through Dunebrook with the prior executive director. I also served on Dunebrook's board for a few years. All of that kind of came together through the Exchange Club and our mission with the prevention of child abuse to get the body safety program into the Duneland schools. So that started actually back in 2008 when I met with the superintendent of schools then, and Diane. Diane from Dunebrook.
Yes.
And so we made the commitment then, and we have held to it since, because the purpose of the body safety program with the prevention of child abuse, it aligns so well with ours. And so It has grown since then. We started off at the elementary schools only. We've been able to bring it to the intermediate schools and the middle schools. And then last year we had planned on bringing it to the high school in a different way, but with COVID and the cancellation of classes after spring break, things got a little bit changed up there. But we have maintained our partnership with Dunebrook in bringing the program to the students of the Duneland community. And then you alluded when you joined Dunebrook, that was just a good transition. I'm so happy for the success that you've had there and you've maintained with Dunebrook and the Exchange Club, the partnership there. That there was the possibility, well, you had some funding issues with body safety, and we said, you know, we will continue to support it at the Duneland level because it was so important to us.
Right.
Yeah.
And that, as I said, Jackie, that spirit of let's get this done no matter what was extremely helpful to Dunebrook. And our funding is always changing. We're funded through three ways, of course, through some state funding for these state-run programs. Body safety is not a state-run program. It's evidence-based, but it's not state funded. So we rely on, you know, funding from organizations like yours and our fundraising. So we're really, you were crucial for keeping it going because you fired us up because you were so passionate to make sure that it happened.
I don't know if everybody who's listening knows about the body safety program, but it's an empowerment program presented directly to the children as a sexual child abuse prevention program that teaches the kids that it's not right, that person who might be approaching them for sexual abuse is messed up in the head and that it's never their fault. And that they should tell somebody, I've learned after all these years, that they should tell somebody that they trust. I had the pleasure of meeting Sergeant Terry Hall, who created this program. He was from the Indianapolis Police Department, and he had such passion, and he really believed that empowering the children to know and to be able to give them confidence to tell somebody they trust was key to preventing sexual child abuse. And so like I said, that was it for me. And of course, everybody at the Exchange Club and of course, Dunebrook as well understands that is what this is all about. You know, if you save one kid, if you prevent one more incident, then it's all worth it.
Right. Jackie, thank you. That is exactly it. It is, having been a school counselor for many years, the idea, of course, is to help children say, if something doesn't feel appropriate, it's okay to, one, say no. And if something happens, what do you do and who do you tell? So it really takes the social stigma off the topic of sexual abuse in a very child respectful, with a lot of integrity with the children and very positive empowerment. You know, these are your body parts. Such as someone touches you inappropriately, you know, say something. Who do you tell? If they don't do anything, what do you do? So it is, it's a great program. So thank you. The prevention is key. To empower any one of us that if something's inappropriate in any way, shape, or form, to tell someone about it. I mean, that's my big thing is if you see something, say something to someone.
Well, and I think I was when Jackie first started it, gosh, Jackie, I don't remember how many years ago, but certainly there were administrators and people were a little bit nervous.
Oh,
and
sure.
So, you know, they had the parent night first and, you know, parents that were a little bit concerned. And it was amazing, you know, how well Dunebrook did in terms of educating the parents, in terms of understanding how important and valuable this was going to be. And I think, I don't even know, Jackie, if parents even come, if they're still doing the parent night, because I think people know this is such a great program. But I think the other thing is just a couple of things that we've heard. I remember one year, one of the teachers in the elementary school approached me and said, Lorelei, what's going on? You guys have not been in our school yet. And we're really concerned. There is a student that we do feel something's happening, but we don't know for sure. And we feel like when the body safety program comes, this may get this child to come forward. And to hear this directly from teachers that they were dependent upon this program to help them identify it. And then, Jackie, you know this better, but I think it was either last year or the year before, one of the students did come forward and we were able to, they were able to arrest a sexual predator. And I think he's already been gone through court and everything. So, it is working and the statistics are phenomenal when you hear when people are educated and know that kids are educated, how much more safer they are because they are in control of what's going on.
Absolutely, Lorelai. You know, that is common. And Terry Hall, Jackie, will tell you that, and all of us this, that when a perpetrator comes into a community and targets a certain type of child for sexual abuse, um, when those children are educated about the topic, he or she has that much harder a time going in and doing wrongdoing, because when a child is educated, they get it, like, whoa, this is what they were talking about. I can say no, I can run away, I can tell someone. So yeah, it does work. It's
Well,
amazing.
and I think the other thing is important, and I don't certainly know the percentage, but there's so many of these cases that happen with family friends,
Yeah.
family relatives. So it's
Oh,
not always that person who's coming into the community that's targeting,
yes, thank
happening
you.
within your own circle. And I think that's what's even more critical, to know that this is not appropriate if mom's boyfriend is doing this to you or an uncle is doing this. And I think that's where you have to empower those kids, because these are mom's friends, or this is my uncle.
Exactly.
And I think that's the other critical thing, to understand it's not appropriate regardless of who the person
Yes,
is.
Lorelai, thank you for saying that. And the percentage, because we write this in grants all the time, is over 75% of the perpetrators are someone the child knows
Mhm,
and oftentimes lives in the home.
mhm.
So thank you for saying that. Yeah, very good. Yeah, when people ask me what I do and I say, child sexual and physical, abuse, they kind of, oh my goodness. But it's a reality of our world, and to take the social stigma away and talk about it, and it is solvable. Not 100%, but definitely a community. The more we educate, the more we find out that we can do something about this.
Mhm.
And that's very exciting. So thank you both so much. Is there anything else on that topic, Jackie or Lorelai, that you'd want to add?
You were just briefly that we present the same program, not we do, Dunebrook does, to the students every year, and it progresses with their age. But there are many children that it takes to hear it a couple times, which is why we continue to support it year after year, to the same schools, to the same students. And I think the case that Lorelai alluded to was a child that had been through the program many times, but finally felt comfortable enough to say something. So
Thank you, Jackie. Yes, the
The only thing
repetition.
I would add is, we're a service club, we're volunteers, we have our day jobs. And so in tourism, everything that we do is partnership based. And to know that in the Exchange Club, we couldn't do what we're doing if it wasn't for Dunebrook. It's a powerful partnership. We couldn't go in, we don't have the expertise to do what you guys are actually doing. So us to be able to sponsor you and to be able to provide this for our schools is really critical. But if Dunebrook didn't exist, I don't know that we could not do the programming. We just don't have the knowledge, and certainly we don't have the paid staff to do that. So a huge thank you to you guys for helping, do this program.
Well, thank you, Lorelai. The Sarah Hoyt does the programs, and you have to not only have a passion to do it, but a talent to talk to children of all ages, K through 12, about this topic in a respectful way with integrity, and hold their attention, not make it be silly, and make a difference. And yes, the year after year, Jackie, as you talk about, is crucial because like any issue that a family may have, substance abuse, drug addiction, the first time you hear something like that, you're like, oh my gosh, that's me, that's my family. It's pretty hard to admit it initially, but we do have disclosures after those presentations where children have the opportunity to go see the counselor and or Sarah Hoyt, really Sarah Hoyt, who so they can go and talk after a presentation to process anything. And that's when those situations are dealt with in an appropriate manner to get that child help. And in some cases, where we do the interviews is actually our child advocacy center at Dunebrook, where we interview the child. And there's a multidisciplinary team with prosecuting attorney, law enforcement. It's filmed, and they're in another room watching to see if, in case there's a situation where it's you can bring it to court and prosecute. So, boy, you ladies are so knowledgeable. Thank you so very much. It's a great, it's a great thing, and you have great passion for it. So we really thank you. We thank you for your support on this through all the years. And if anyone has questions, of course, they can always call us, not only the Exchange Club, but anyone listening to this today. So again, your compassion, the Exchange Club's compassion for reaching out to the community, we couldn't do what we do without you, vice versa, you know.
Right.
So we appreciate the relationship. And I guess, is there anything else you'd want to leave our listeners with regards to reaching out and giving back to the community, as you all both have done your whole lives, and what that is like and why do it, and when you're busy with your jobs and your families, what is it? What makes you do that? And
When I think, and I can't speak for Jackie, but I know both of us joined in our 20s, and that's unusual. I think, especially in today's world, to have people in their 20s that join a service club. But, I think it's a way that you can give back in so many different ways. So, there is a membership fee, but the reality of it is that one membership fee touches so many different programs. And I think that's the great thing to do. The thing is, there's no pressure when you come into the Exchange Club. You may work on one program for the entire year, but that is still giving something back. And I think that's what the opportunity is. So regardless of what your schedule is, there's always something, even if it's little or small or little or big, you can make a difference because you're leveraging your talents, you're leveraging your resources, be it financial, or your skills with other members. And when you leverage it, your impact is so much greater than if you're just going to go out and try to make a difference on your own.
right, wow, is that the truth? The team effort is so impactful and powerful. Thank you, Lorelei. Jackie?
Yeah, I would just chime in that, you find something that just, hits your heart, because we're busy. We're busy people. And some days you're like, oh my gosh, another meeting or whatever. But the feel good from it, which isn't what it's really about. You're just doing something bigger than yourself. That's
Mhm.
really what it is about. This is probably the opportunity to plug the Exchange Club.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, we're meeting virtually right now, with the circumstances, but we're a breakfast club, which works well for a lot of office, type of employees. Um, 7 o'clock at round the clock, a couple times a month on the first and third Thursday, in Chesterton, once we're back to meeting in person. But we have many members who continue to support the club and participate in our fundraisers and other programs who can't make the meetings. And we've finally, after however many years, um, have got a good method to keep the communication open, with all of the memberships through minutes and whatnot. So you can give a little, or you can give a lot, depending on how much time you have or whatever. So we would encourage anybody to reach out, to our Facebook page or our website to get more information. Or me personally, I could talk for hours.
Well, and I think, at the end of the day, both Jackie and I have made the decision to stay in the club. She joined in, she was a founding member in 91, and I came on in 93. But I think we've chosen it because, we've seen firsthand what our club is doing and the difference it's making. We give a lot of awards out, different awards to youth in our community. One of them is the Youth of the Month. One of them is the Young Citizenship Award. The Young Citizenship Award is given to kids that are just good citizens. They don't have to be good in sports, music, or in education in terms of that, but they're just a really good kid. And I have been able to see behind the scenes when parents are like, you have no idea what this meant to my child, right? They may have never been recognized for anything else, and this was their first award. Or there's the ACE Award, which is accepting the challenge of excellence, who's given to a senior who's overcome some pretty significant issue in their life. And to hear the fact that they are being recognized in front of a huge crowd of people for what they've accomplished, those awards stay with them for their life.
Right.
And, I don't think, so we're seeing that firsthand, to see that we do the talent show and these little kids from kindergarten through seniors that are getting up on a stage where you couldn't ever get me to go on a stage like that. And then the money raised goes to Natural Helpers, which provides a peer-to-peer counseling program to high schoolers. So the impact that we're making, because Jackie and I and the other members are seeing this firsthand, that's why we continue to stay in. And plus, I guess the fringe benefit to it is it's a great group of people as well, and we really get along. We joke around with each other. And so you make some really good friends out of this as well.
Right. Right. The friendship, but you really change lives. And I'm not saying that lightly. You change lives by those type of programs you just described. Again, I go back to my school counseling days. That is everything to some little child who typically might not get an award, or as you say, Lorelei, really, and that can turn the corner for someone who's a little bit, trying to decide which path of life to take. So again, thank you both. First of all, you're just both wonderful. What great role models you are, honestly, for all of us. And thank you again to Duneland Exchange for years and years and years of all that they do for the community and beyond. And particularly thank you from Dunebrook, because you are the fire behind our passion, and we really, really appreciate it. With that, I think that's all I have. Any last minute, anything that you're thinking of that you'd like to add?
The only thing I want to add, and this is Jackie's mom's in our club, and Dawn is helping with Veterans Matters, and I think this is an important one to mention because in the month of November, we just celebrated Veterans Days. I think a lot of people do not realize there's a lot of veterans that are homeless across this country. So what Veterans Matter does is it raises money. So what happens is there is money to help homeless veterans get into housing, but it doesn't pay the deposit. So a lot of these guys and women do not have the money for the deposit. So Veteran Matters raises the money for the deposit. So the money that we raise in our club goes directly to that organization. And we have specifically are helping homeless veterans in Northern Indiana find housing. And that's a really important cause to us as well. I mean, to think about these people who have served their country, right? And now they're living on the streets. It's the least that we can do to give back to thank them.
Right. We live in a free country because of their service.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And again, to go online, right, Lorelei?
Absolutely. So with ours, it's dunelandexchangeclub.com.
Okay.
There is, if you go to the support us page, there is a donate button. It'll take you to PayPal, and you can memo that it goes to Veterans Matter, and that will go directly, again, it goes directly for Northern Indiana homeless veterans.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And what a great season to give back, because there's so many in need.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank you, ladies, so very much for your time. Thank you for your patience with my technical difficulty.
No problem.
And I just love looking at your background, Lorelei.
Oh, thank you. It gives you like you're ready to go.
Oh my gosh. It just gives you a nice de-stress feeling. So I wish you both a wonderful November and Thanksgiving holiday, and hope to see you soon in person.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. And thank you, Dunebrook, for inviting us.
Take care. We'll be talking to you soon.
Great. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.